Hey there, everyone. This is Nina Perez, and this is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Thank you so much for being here. This show, as you know, is created to discuss life topics, to grow, to challenge, and transform your thinking. And today I have Jim and Lucy Woods here, and they're real life husband and wife. They're business partners, professionals with extensive experience in business and professional development. They're authors of numerous business and children's books, and they are leading professionals and business coaches who help their clients improve their quality of life. And as you guys know, I go around the planet trying to find the best humans on it so that we can come on here and have really real, candid, authentic conversations, but also to show you that you don't need to be stuck in any area of your life. There is a way to move forward. So, Lucy and Jim, thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
I thank you so very much, Nina.
I'm so glad you're here. So I loved reading about you guys. I don't know how you're business partners and husband and wife in real life. I cannot do that. I told my husband he has his own business in contracting. I'm like, yeah, I'll do the paperwork for you. He's like, you are not working for me. So here we are. So how are you both?
We're great, thank you.
I'm glad that. Go ahead.
We heard many times that I don't know how you're doing because we can't work together, and me and my husband, we can't wait that each of us can go to work, but us, we just can't wait to do more together.
Oh,
I don't know how, I don't know why, but it works this way.
That's good. That's good. Keep it. Keep the magic.
Well, your husband knows the secret, Nina.
What's that?
Yes, dear.
Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. He says that all the time. That is so funny. He says that all the time. He goes, I keep my marriage happy because I just know, yes.
He's a smart man.
Yeah, he's a smart man. That's so funny. So I would love for my audience to know a little bit more about you. So why don't we do ladies first? So Lucy, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about you and who you are, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Thank you very much for having us, first of all. Myself, personally, I started working since 14, going to the office with my mom. She worked in a small business, and first time I went there, I was about 11, and I looked around. It was a small town in Ukraine, Western Ukraine. It's Europe, and it looked quite boring to me. I looked around, and year after year, I look around and I say, that's boring, because business here works in a way that you need to know somebody, and then you go for coffee, and you have coffee, you discuss things, you make business. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of not my idea of business.
Right.
So by the time 14, I got an understanding that I want to do more. This is where I enrolled in my first English classes, and it wasn't easy. It was what called correspondence school. You received tapes. Back then we had tapes by mail. So this is how my growth started. And years later, I had my first international job, and then another one, and another one. And about 8 years ago, I started work for myself, because I realized I want also some flexibility. Because when you go to office, you depend on one company, you depend on environment in that company, in the office, all this classical office intrigue and all this stuff.
Right.
I wanted something more again. I don't know, maybe it was something wrong with me again, but I decided I want more. So this is how I started work exclusively for myself. And right now, we have customers on all continents. I run our direction of business called WKG Strategy, where we help solopreneurs and startups with strategic development. I also help entrepreneurs with productivity systems. Our hobby, our recent edition is as a hobby together, we write children's book. Because again, one morning we woke up, we looked through the window, there was lockdown. We looked through the window, we saw the birds flying close to our windows. And we were like, with 2 cups of coffee, like, oh, that's cool. That's very interesting. We need to write about it. That's how first children book came out.
That's amazing. And there's nothing wrong with you. I think there's something right with you to not want to be stuck in a box somewhere, doing what everybody else does. And that's like, it's good to have those experiences, right? Because it was having that experience so young that made you realize I can do other things. I can do more things. I don't want to do this, right? So that's great. I'm glad that you went that direction. I mean, listening to tapes, I remember listening to tapes because I used to record on tapes and stuff. So we're aging ourselves a little bit here. But that's really great. That shows a lot of tenacity and grit within you, right? To say, I'm gonna just take on a new challenge. So good for you, Lucy. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Jim? What's your story?
Well, that is the reason that Lucy and I met. You won't believe it, but we actually met on LinkedIn.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we did. Most people think we met on the dating site, but it was actually on LinkedIn. It had nothing to do with dating whatsoever. I became impressed with her command of the English language and her ability to express her thoughts very professionally. So for years, we only spoke professional. And we started doing business across the ocean and became partners. And I just never really gave it a lot of thought, really, about anything other than seeing her as a very absolute professional. And that's how I began. And one day, as my grandson would say, I thought, hubba, hubba, hubba.
That's good. That's good to think that about your wife. So, Jim, was that something you've always wanted to do too, like be an entrepreneur and have your own business, or how did that develop for you?
Well, probably I think everybody, when it really comes down to it, would like to be an entrepreneur. I mean, this right now, more and more people are just choosing not to go to work. They're really willing to find some way to risk it, so they're not lazy, but they think they are, or maybe the mother-in-law think they're lazy, but
Right.
but they actually have a passion for something, and a lot of them don't know what it is. And for me, I gave a business plan to a guy that had gone to my church, and he had it for about a month or so. I called him up ahead of time, went by the house, and all I wanted to know was, am I on the right track? Not money, nothing. That's all I wanted to know. And he had it on the doorstep. And no highlights, nothing. His cars were out front, all the Mercedes and all, and no one ever answered the door. So I took the 5-mile drive back home, and I literally cried in the kitchen. I thought, what am I going to do? And so after I had my pity party, I've been trained as a salesperson to get up and make one more phone call. So I did a blind phone call to Whirlpool Corporation in Michigan. And I happened to get through the gatekeeper, the secretary, and spoke to the vice president of world operations. And he said, what do you do? What do you say in sales? Well, what would you like me to do?
Right.
Right. So what do you like me to do? He said, how about team building? I said, we can do that. I didn't have a name or anything. And then he said, how much do you charge? I gave him a figure, $100, $200. He laughed. And before the conversation ended, he hired me to fly out the next day, and he paid me more money in one day than I ever made in the best 1 or 2 months of my life.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And that's how we got started.
That's like a really great confidence booster too, right? I mean, it showed you that you have it in you too. I mean, you could have stayed in your pity party. You could have.
Yes.
And you could have went and gotten yourself a 9 to 5 somewhere, right? Because I think a lot of us give up on our dreams faster than we should.
We do.
Right? Yeah.
We do.
There's
And
a lot of it takes a lot of grit.
things happen.
Say again?
Sometimes things happen to compel us to go do those things, but we have to always remember what's gnawing at us from the inside out.
Right. And so how do you both develop your strategies to work with organizations or business? Now, do you do one-on-ones, or is it just organization and businesses?
Well, we do one-on-ones from time to time because I also work with solopreneurs.
Okay.
So I have teams that assist me. We have multiple teams that are flexible, that consist of freelancers from all around the world. But one-on-one sometimes necessary because since we added that productivity component and Jim added a career counseling component,
Okay.
it's very nice. It feels, like you making difference.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. And when you give somebody strategies that they are actually going to implement, that's useful. And it's, I think that happens. I coach too. I coach women. And the thing is, you end up having to realize that, at least for me, solopreneurs and entrepreneurs are usually willing to do the work.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of times if I coach somebody who's not in that frame of thought, some of them will do it, but some of them won't. And it takes a longer time to get them motivated to do it. But I noticed that professionals and entrepreneurs, when I coach them, it's like, it's getting done.
Yes.
Do you find that as well?
That's different from person to person.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is so much resistance to change that the person will be struggling for 3 months just to organize schedule.
Right.
Things happen.
Isn't that true? So tell me some of what you guys do with your business clients and things like that. What is the like? Do you have a program set up? Do what do you take them through?
Well, we have, how can I put it? Lucy, we have, well, where we are right now in Europe, we're based out of Colorado, but we've been
Okay.
working in Europe for a while. And where we are, we're at the top of this building and we have an excellent view, almost 360 view of the city.
Oh, beautiful.
And so we can work in the patios, which we do during the summer a lot, but Lucy likes to work in a certain corner of the living room. That's her spot. She's really, really good at speaking to people and she knows what she really is doing. She's not giving gibberish. She knows what she's talking about. Me, I work on a desk, sometimes in the patio in the other direction, and we may go an hour or so without saying anything, sometimes a good portion of the day. But we'll smile and we'll wave and we'll dance by each other. And sometimes some time ago we took tango classes during the shutdown, and we would take a break and we would practice our tango. I'm kind of like the robot in Wizard of Oz. If you ever saw that. It doesn't matter. I mean, not all black people have rhythm. I just don't.
That's funny.
I don't. I have not a zip. Okay.
So funny.
we laugh sometimes and say that our youngest son, just started college recently, university recently, and we said that he got his rhythm from me, which is none.
None.
I'm rhythmically off the beat,
Oh,
and I
that's
can't
so
wait to
funny.
get home and write a paper about it.
Right. That's so funny. I didn't even ask you guys, but how long have you been married?
Been married since she was about what? 13, 14?
It's been a little over 4 years now.
4 years.
4 years. Oh, you
Yeah,
guys are still like in this beautiful honeymoon type thing. I love it.
Yes. Yeah, it makes her dad happy.
Yeah. But let me tell you, I've been married 20, going on 21 years, and we are the same. I love him to pieces. It's a beautiful thing to find love, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys cousins too? You and your husband?
No.
Oh, okay. We are.
Oh, really?
Look at her.
No, we're not kissing cousins. No. That is a funny question.
I'm from Missouri, okay, and so it's normal in that area.
Yeah. It's normal in some Hispanic cultures as well. So no worries about that. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So what kind of challenges have you guys come up against? Do you think it not if you want to talk about personal as well, but even business wise, right? Because starting your own business and being an entrepreneur becomes a lot of challenges. And what are some of the things that you felt like were really hard obstacles to get through?
I don't know. Before I met Lucy, I went almost 4 years without a paycheck,
Mm,
and that was extremely difficult. It's more difficult looking back on it than it was experiencing it at the time. Looking back on it, you say, "Wow, how did I can't believe I did that."
right.
And it's like looking back and saying how far you've come. You said, "I can't believe I did all of that." It's just really remarkable. You know what, Nina? We're more remarkable and astounding than we think we are.
Yeah, I agree.
All of us have moved so many mountains, so we don't even give ourselves credit for doing it. And
True.
Lucy and I being together, we work as a team and writing the books and all. And it's not complicated for us to do it. Nobody gets upset or have fisticuffs or anything or arguments. We just go about our day, do our work, and at 7, 8 o'clock, we stop work and we have dinner. Now, being in Europe, a lot of her customers come from Europe, Saudi Arabia, and so on. Most of my customers come from the United States. And so we just balance our schedules to work with everyone. And it's not complicated. It's not rocket science.
Right. So you're finding that going through what you've gone through, right? So having that 4-year stretch where you were really like trying to make ends meet and not having a paycheck, that kind of gives you also this tenacity, right? Like this grit to be able to overcome challenges. Do you think that that has a lot to do with why you can, kind of smooth through business challenges right now?
What do you think, honey?
I think Jim just went through a lot, and obviously every experience changes us.
Yeah.
It makes us behave differently. It also sometimes makes us anxious of things. Like, I don't want to lose this client because I don't want to see the drop in numbers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, and that's a real thing. That's a real thing, right? And that has, a few entrepreneurs that I've spoken to, what happens though, I think, is that you can also become desperate, and that's not good either, right?
yeah,
Because then you take on clients you shouldn't have taken, or yeah, when I work with people, I assess them first, and then if they don't match, they just don't match, even if I'm struggling financially. But I feel like that's harder to do when you're struggling financially because you're looking at it going, this could be my next paycheck for a while, right? But also you have to be integral to yourself, right? Jim and Lucy Woods has to make sure that their brand is going to have integrity and that you're going to do it to the best of your ability. Do you ever feel like you have challenges and have to turn someone away or not have a client? Has that ever happened to you?
I've listened to Lucy do it a number of times.
Yeah.
I've listened. I've listened to her to actually. She'll just say no, or what it is. I can't work with you. I can't do this. I would love to, and she would push them to a level where they they have inertia. They just can't make a decision, yes or no, or they
Right.
want to get something for free. Lucy, you may see this happy woman right here that's smiling, but I'm telling you something. she is, she goes to the juggler.
Hey, sometimes you gotta be like as
Yes,
direct as possible. She seems to me like a very direct woman. So there you go. I love
very
it.
direct.
I love it. So Jim, you gotta learn from her then. You gotta learn to say no.
Well, yeah.
So
I think it was Martin Luther King Jr. that said longevity is a good thing, and
mhm.
so and so so
Yes,
saying yes
dear.
here works
Yes,
okay.
dear. Right. Yes, dear. That's all it is. So I would love before we wrap up, and you guys are amazing energy. I love I love that you guys are so connected the way you are. And I'd love for people who are listening to kind of know how to contact you or, for I know you both are doing two specific different things, correct? You're both working on two different areas. So why don't you start? We'll start with Lucy again because she's a beautiful woman, and we'll start with her. So Lucy, if you don't mind, just let us know a little bit about how we can contact you and for what. Like you can contact Lucy Woods for, and where we can contact you. That'd be great.
Of course. Thank you for this opportunity. Yes, so for the startup strategy, solopreneur strategy, or complex marketing execution, you can reach out to wkgstrategy.com or Lucy at wkgstrategy.com. And also, if you just need a productivity or strategy session for you personally as solopreneur or any place in your life you are at, just go to our Jim at lucywoods.com website. There are options to pick from, and we'll get on call.
That's
That's
wonderful.
exactly right.
That's wonderful. How about you, Jim? Tell us how to contact you and what your niche is, what you love to do.
Well, I specialize in the inclusive leadership, diversity
Oh, that's great.
on that level, because many people actually think that it's just a matter of black and white. They forget about all the people that are left out of that. It doesn't
Right.
matter what race you're in. It could be somebody that's trans. It could be a number of things. It could be age. It could be a number of things. It could be someone who's divorced, somebody who's single, someone who's never been married.
Yep.
All those people, if you were to put all of them on a team, they're going to come at a solution a different way. They don't mean to be angry or vicious towards anyone else. It's just that they're trying to avoid groupthink and they have a different
Yeah.
perspective about what should be done. And each one of those ideas are important. My job is to bring them all together.
That's great. That's really great. And so, Jim, how do they contact you if they?
Sure, they can go to our website, Woods Kovalova Group. That's with a K,
Okay.
kovalovagroup.com.
Okay.
I mean, we're everywhere. Google, find us on LinkedIn.
Okay.
We're on there. We're pretty active on LinkedIn, and find our website on Facebook. We're active there as well.
Okay.
We're more than
Great.
happy to answer questions.
Yeah, I think that's important, right? I think both of you are like strategically doing this on two different levels, and that's really great. You're attacking not just solopreneurs, but entrepreneurs and also businesses and diversity, which is fantastic, right? Because we all need that in every area. So, and just know that if you call Lucy, she may say no if you don't match with her. That's that. No, I love that.
Then
I
call
actually
Jim.
admire that. I actually
It's pretty
admire that.
easy. It's really easy, Nina. If she says no, all I say is, well, I'll wash your dishes.
Yeah.
And then she'll say, you're going to do it anyway. And I said, okay.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
You guys are so fantastic. I want to thank you guys for being here with me. I know 30 minutes kind of flies by, but thank you for being here with me and sharing what you do. I think that my audience is going to be enriched even more and at least be able to go on there and see all of the different things that you have offering. I went on there and you have a lot of different like one-on-one coachings and all this information on there. So that's really great. I'm going to make sure to link everything of you down below so that anybody can go ahead and click onto your link in your website. And if you have any questions for me after this or anything, let me know. But thank you so much for being here, spending this time with me. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, I want to thank you so much for being on here with me. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, Straight Talk, No Sugar Added, and make sure that we connect. Make sure that you text me at the number that you will see now. I'm going to put on my outro. I'll make sure that I put my number for my community link below. I'd love to hear more about you and what you do. I want to thank you so much for being here with us. This is Nina Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Until next time.
This broadcast is brought to you by Winject Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.